You have lived in this house for 11 years. You know it the way you know your own breathing, automatically, without thought. The knowledge woven into the body so deep, it no longer requires attention. You know that the hallway off the kitchen ends at the linen closet. You know the linen closet door sticks in wet weather. You know the floor in front of it has a soft spot, a slight give beneath the left foot that the home inspector mentioned once and you never got around to fixing. So when you walk down that hallway on an ordinary Thursday morning, coffee in hand, barefoot, still blinking, and find that the hallway does not end at the linen closet anymore, your brain does something unusual. It does not sound an alarm. It simply runs the data again, quietly, the way a machine rereads corrupted input before reporting an error. You stand there and look at the door. It is not the linen closet door. The linen closet door is white, hollow core, with a brass knob that has been loose for 2 years. This door is heavier, solid. The knob is ceramic, painted with a faded blue pattern you don't recognize. The door is set into the wall, as if the wall was built around it. The paint along the frame is the same age as the rest of the hallway. You look at the door for a long time before you open it. The room on the other side is roughly 12 by 14 feet. There is a window on the far wall that looks out into your backyard, the same backyard you see from the kitchen every morning. But you have never seen it from this angle, because this window did not exist yesterday. There is furniture, a narrow bed against the left wall, made up neatly with a faded quilt. A wooden dresser with the top drawer slightly open. A small desk in the corner, covered with papers. A braided rug on the floor, worn pale in the center from years of foot traffic. You step inside. The air is the temperature of a room that has been lived in, that holds the warmth of long occupancy, not the cold of a space that has been closed, the warmth of a space that has been open and inhabited and breathing. The papers on the desk are covered in handwriting. You recognize the handwriting. It takes you a full minute to understand why. It is your handwriting, or something close enough to your handwriting that the difference only appears when you hold one of the pages against something you know you wrote yourself. The letters are rounder, the pressure is lighter, but the formations are yours. The papers are letters, all of them addressed to the same person, all of them unsigned. You open the dresser. The clothes folded inside are the right size for you, not your clothes. You don't own any of these, but your size, your proportion, as if someone who knew your measurements had packed a bag for you. You stand in the room for a very long time. Then you go back into the hallway and close the door and call a contractor. The contractor arrives 2 hours later. You show him the door. He looks at it the way tradespeople look at things they cannot immediately explain. Carefully, without commitment. He opens the door. He looks at the room. He says, "How long has this addition been here?" You say, "It wasn't here yesterday." He says nothing for a moment. Then he says, "The framing is old. The plaster is original to the house. This room is older than your kitchen renovation. If someone added this, they added it before you bought the place. You tell him you've lived here for 11 years, and you have never seen this room. He looks at you the way people look at you when they are deciding whether you are confused or lying. Then he looks back at the room. He says, "There's a window in here that faces the backyard." You say, "Yes." He says, "I can't see that window from the outside." You go outside together. You stand in the backyard and look at the exterior wall of the house. The wall where the window should be is solid, painted siding, no aperture, no interruption. You walk inside and look through the window and see the backyard clearly. The apple tree, the fence, the neighbor's garage. You walk outside and look at the wall and see nothing. The contractor leaves. He does not charge you. He does not say why. You call the previous owners. The listing was an estate sale. The previous occupant died in the house in 2009, having lived there since 1961. Her daughter handled the sale. You have her number from the closing documents, still in a file cabinet in your office. The daughter answers on the third ring. You describe the room. You describe the door, the dresser, the papers, the window that cannot be seen from outside. There is a silence. She says, "My mother mentioned that room." You wait. She says, "She mentioned it once when I was a child. She said there was a room in the house that appeared sometimes. She said she never went inside it. She said it always had her things in it, her handwriting, her clothes. She said the first time she found it, she was very frightened, and the second time, she was less frightened. And the third time, she stood in the doorway for a long time. And then, she went in and sat on the bed. And she stayed there for about an hour. And then she went back to her life, and she never talked about it again. You ask if she knows what was in the letters? She says she didn't say. You ask if she knows what the room is? She says she thought it was a room the house made, not for her, not a threat. She said it was more like the house was trying to give her something, like it was showing her a version of herself it wanted her to keep. You hang up. You go back to the hallway. The door is still there. You open it. You sit at the desk. You pick up one of the letters and read it. We are not going to tell you what the letter says. That information belongs to you specifically, and we have reason to believe the room is not accessible to anyone else, regardless of what the contractor saw. We have investigated 11 cases with this signature. In every case, the room contains handwriting. The subject recognizes, clothing in the subject's size, and a window that shows them a view they know from inside the house, but cannot locate from outside. In every case, the room disappears after the subject reads the letters. In every case, the subject reports feeling afterward that they have lost something they did not have time to properly hold. In 3 cases, the room came back. In those 3 cases, the letters were different. In one case, the subject began writing back. We do not know what that means. We are still watching that case. The registry recommends the following. If you find a room you do not recognize, you should not be afraid of it. You should sit in it. You should read what it shows you. You should understand that the house has been waiting longer than you have, and that it has been patient. Whatever the room contains was placed there for you, by something that knows you well enough to furnish a space for the version of yourself it believes you have not yet become. Whether you trust that something is a question only you can answer. The door is still there. It has always been there.